When I think of a code, corporate governance has come to stay. Any company that is futuristic, either in terms of having a stake or a share within its business spectrum, must, as a matter of duty and responsibility, have some sort of corporate governance code that runs and applies within that particular company. So when you're talking about the code for longevity of companies, corporate governance is key. And what is the purpose of corporate governance? It's accountability, it's oversight, and it's leadership. If you remove accountability, oversight, and leadership from what every board should aspire towards, trust me, the company, it's already grounded. Before it even starts to rise, it's grounded. So when we're talking about accountability, we're talking about accountability of the board, accountability of the directors, accountability of whosoever is involved in the management. That's the executive directorship roles now, for example. Whoever is involved in management must actually have a mindset of accountability, must be open to oversight from independent directors. Then you now talk about the leadership aspect of it. That now has to do with the vision. Who is casting the vision for that company? Who are the individuals who are responsible for ensuring that that company continues to renew itself? Because when companies do not have a renewal system, or better yet, let's say, when companies do not have individuals or a department that handles either research and development or strategy, then it will be very obvious from the word go that that company, just give it few years, within few years is already running under the ground. Because right now, as we're seeing, technology is disrupting a lot of companies. A lot of things are happening. Companies that used to hold the fort in certain industries are now beginning to understand, rather in some cases late, in some cases early, but the understanding is now there that companies can no longer begin to do business the way it used to be done 10 years ago right now. Companies have to shift. So companies who are making that mind shift, who are leading, who are accountable, and who have that oversight system to ensure that the actions of the directors are subject to certain codes of conduct. Imagine, for example, you have a director in a company, who doesn't believe, in a system wherein he should be accountable either to maybe to the shareholders or even to a crop of independent directors and all that. You would have a lot of lapses in that kind of a company, and that would definitely tell anyone looking from the outside that the company lacks a proper culture. There is no culture within that company. If you don't have a whistleblower's policy, for example, if you don't have a conflict of interest policy, for example, if you don't put maybe a policy on diversity, inclusion, and all of that, if you don't have that within your company, then it definitely says a lot about what your leadership cycle or your leadership lifespan or your leadership outlook would look like in that company. How be it that a Dangote, for example, I know that Dangote Cement is run at that CEO level by an Indian. I know that Dangote has also involved a whole lot of expatriates within the leadership for the Dangote group of companies. Why? Not because Dangote doesn't have brothers from Kano or from Sokoto or from Zamfara, but he's more concerned. He's thinking about what happens to Dangote when Dangote is gone. We don't all live forever. What happens to UBA, for example? What happens to some of all these top brands, top companies? Even what would happen to First Bank? What would happen to First Bank when the Awoshikas are no more? I'm not saying they are still there presently anyways because of the rumble fumble, or rather yet because of the rumblings, that recently took place within, the First Bank circles, where the central bank, had to intervene in certain things that they considered inappropriate based on certain corporate governance applications within the bank. I'm not talking about all of that. But the point I'm trying to make basically is that As a company that is headed in the right direction, there is a set of rules that you must live by. There is a set of codes that you must live by. And for you to fully understand that you're actually on the right path, you must never forget accountability. You must also never forget oversight. Oversight, you should be open to oversight, either from your stakeholders, from your regulators. You should be open. You should have it at the back of your mind that a time will come when the books will be open. So you should prepare for that. That's a company that is actually futuristic. Then leadership. Are you leading forward or you are being led from behind? Are you leading forward? Every company has to ask that question at all times. That should be one of the preoccupations of any advisory board or independent directors who are actually hired to come and provide certain support, to the management of companies. Basically, is the company leading forward? I don't want to overburden this video. I believe that if you've not taken anything out of all that I've said, just think accountability, think oversight, and think leadership. When you add those three things together, it can form the basis upon which any serious company can stand and can continuously do better. I'll see you some other time. Do have a very wonderful day ahead.